Welcome back to another chapter of the Story for Kids, discovering the Bible from beginning to end. Chapter 10. Messages from God. Hannah's husband loved her very much, but she was always sad because she couldn't have a baby. Hannah went to God's house to pray and ask him to give her a baby. Hannah was very sad. She wept and wept. She prayed to the Lord. She made a promise to him. She said, "Lord, you rule over all. Please see how I am suffering. Show concern for me. Don't forget about me. Please give me a son. If you do, I'll give him back to the Lord. Then he will serve the Lord all the days of his life. He'll never use a razor on his head. He'll never cut his hair." As Hannah kept on praying to the Lord, Eli washed her lips. She was praying in her heart. Her lips were moving, but she wasn't making a sound. The person who took care of God's house was named Eli. When he saw Hannah praying, he didn't know what she was doing and thought she was drunk, so he was upset with her. Hannah explained, "I'm a woman who is deeply troubled. I am telling the Lord all my troubles. Don't think of me as an evil woman. I've been praying here because I'm very sad. My pain is so great." Eli answered, "May the God of Israel give you what you are asking him for." She said, "May you be pleased with me." Then she left and had something to eat. Her face wasn't sad anymore. After some time, Hannah became pregnant. She had a baby boy. She said, "I asked the Lord for him," so she named him Samuel. Hannah was very, very happy when Samuel was born. She loved him very much and took care of him at her house until he wasn't a baby anymore. But she knew Samuel couldn't live with her forever. After all, she'd promised God that Samuel would serve him all his life. Hannah brought the boy to Eli. Hannah said to Eli, "Pardon me, sir. I'm the woman who stood here beside you praying to the Lord, and that's just as sure as you are alive. I prayed for this child. The Lord has given me what I've asked him for, so now I'm giving him to the Lord. As long as he lives, he'll be given to the Lord." And there Eli worshipped the Lord. Then Hannah prayed. She said, "The Lord has filled my heart with joy. He has made me strong. I can laugh at my enemies. I'm so glad he saved me. There isn't anyone holy like him. There isn't anyone except him. There isn't any rock like our God." The Lord was gracious to Hannah. Over a period of years, she had 3 more sons and 2 daughters. During that whole time, the boy Samuel grew up serving the Lord. The boy Samuel served the Lord under the direction of Eli. In those days, the Lord didn't give any messages to his people. He didn't give them many visions. One night, Eli was lying down in his usual place. His eyes were becoming so weak he couldn't see very well. Samuel was lying down in the Lord's house. That is where the ark of God was kept. The lamp of God was still burning. The Lord called out to Samuel. Samuel answered, "Here I am." He ran over to Eli and said, "Here I am. You called out to me." But Eli said, "I didn't call to you. Go back and lie down." So he went and lay down. Again the Lord called out to Samuel, "Samuel!" Samuel got up and went to Eli. He said, "Here I am. You called out to me." "My son," Eli said, "I didn't call out. Go back and lie down." Samuel didn't know the Lord yet. That's because the Lord still hadn't given him a message. The Lord called out for a 3rd time. He said, "Samuel!" Samuel got up and went to Eli. He said, "Here I am. You called out to me." Then Eli realized that the Lord was calling the boy. So Eli told Samuel, "Go and lie down. If someone calls out to you again, say, 'Speak, Lord, I'm listening.'" So Samuel went and lay down in his place. The Lord came and stood there. He called out just as he'd done the other times. He said, "Samuel! Samuel!" Then Samuel replied, "Speak, I'm listening." God knew that the Israelites needed someone to lead them, and he chose Samuel for the task. As Samuel grew up, he and God talked all the time. Samuel would tell the Israelites what God had said, and the people would listen. Samuel was a very good man, and he did what God wanted. When Samuel became old, he appointed his sons as Israel's leaders. But his sons didn't live as he did. They were only interested in making money. They accepted money from people who wanted special favors. They made things that were wrong appear to be right. So all the elders of Israel gathered together. They came to Samuel at Ramah. They said to him, "You are old, your sons don't live as you do, so appoint a king to lead us. We want a king just like the kings all the other nations have." Samuel wasn't pleased when they said, "Give us a king to lead us." So he prayed to the Lord. The Lord told him, "Listen to everything the people are saying to you. You are not the one they have turned their backs on. I am the one they do not want as their king. They are doing just as they have always done. They have deserted me and served other gods. They have done that from the time I brought them up out of Egypt until this day. Now they are deserting you too. Let them have what they want, but give them a strong warning. Let them know what the king who rules over them will expect to be done for him." Samuel told the people who were asking him for a king everything the Lord had said. Samuel told them, "Here's what the king who rules over you will expect you to do for him. He will take your sons, he'll make them serve with his chariots and horses. They will run in front of your chariots. He'll choose some of your sons to be commanders of thousands of men. Some will be commanders of 50s. Others will have to plow the fields and gather his crops. Some others will have to make weapons of war and parts for his chariots. He'll also take your daughters. Some will have to make perfume. Others will be forced to cook and bake. He will take away your best fields and vineyards and olive groves. He'll give them to his attendants. He will take 1/10 of your grain and 1/10 of your attendants. He will take 1/10 of your grain and 1/10 of your grapes. He'll give it to his officials and attendants. He will also take your male and female servants. He'll take your best cattle and donkeys. He'll use all of them any way he wants to. He will take 1/10 of your sheep and goats. You yourselves will become his slaves. When the time comes, you will cry out for help because of the king you have chosen. But the Lord won't answer you at that time." In spite of what Samuel said, the people refused to listen to him. "No," they said, "we want a king to rule over us. Then we'll be like all the other nations. We'll have a king to lead us. He'll go out and he'll be the head of our armies and fight our battles." Samuel heard everything the people said. He told the Lord about it. The Lord answered, "Listen to them. Give them a king. Listen to them. Give them a king." In Israel, God was supposed to be the king, but the Israelites wanted a human king, like the other countries around them. God knew that a king would make life hard for his people, but he told Samuel that he would let Israel have a human king. God chose a man named Saul to be the first king. Saul came to Samuel to ask him for help to locate some lost donkeys. While Saul was with him, Samuel anointed him king. The Lord had spoken to Samuel the day before Saul came. He had said, "About this time tomorrow I will send you a man. He is from the land of Benjamin. Anoint him to be the king of my people Israel. He will save them from the power of the Philistines. I've seen how much my people are suffering. Their cry for help has reached me." When Samuel saw a man coming toward him, the Lord spoke to Samuel again. He said, "He is the man I told you about. His name is Saul. He will govern my people." Saul approached Samuel at the gate of the town. He asked Samuel, "Can you please show me the seer's house?" "I'm the seer," Samuel replied. "Go on up to the high place ahead of me. I want you and your servant to eat with me today. Tomorrow morning, I'll tell you what's on your mind. Then I'll send you on your way. Don't worry about the donkeys you lost 3 days ago. They've already been found. But who do all the Israelites want?" "You and your father's whole family." Saul answered, "But I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. It's the smallest tribe in Israel. And my family group is the least important in the whole tribe of Benjamin. So why are you saying that to me?" Then Samuel took a bottle of olive oil. He poured it on Saul's head and kissed him. He said, "The Lord has anointed you to be the king of his people. When you leave me today, you will meet 2 men. They will be near Rachel's tomb at Zelzah on the border on Benjamin. They'll say to you, 'The donkeys you've been looking for have been found.' Now your father has stopped thinking about them. Instead, he's worried about you. He's asking, 'What can I do to find my son?' After that, you will go to Gibeah of God. Some Philistine soldiers are stationed there. As you approach the town, you will meet a group of prophets. They'll be coming down from the high place where they worship. People will be playing lyres, tambourines, flutes, and harps at the head of the group. The prophets will be prophesying. The Spirit of the Lord will come powerfully onto you. Then you will prophesy along with them. You will become a different person. All these things will happen. Then do what you want. God is with you. As Saul turned to leave Samuel, God changed Saul's heart. All these things happened that day. At first, Saul was a very good king. The spirit that God sent to Saul had made him brave, smart, and a good leader. But before long, Saul started to do things God told him not to do. God decided he didn't want Saul to be king anymore. He took away the spirit that made Saul a good king, and God told Samuel to look for a new king, a king who loved God more than anything and would always try to do what God wanted. Discussion questions. Number 1. Have you ever wanted something so badly that you became upset when you didn't get it? What did you want but not get? How did you resolve your problem? Number 2. What can you do to serve God? Describe 3 ways.